This video you may find interesting. I ran across this online, and it goes back to a video I had made about 2 years ago that was titled South Africa, Why Africans Migrate Here. And in the thumbnail, if you remember this video, you will see it's a kid that's holding up a sign, and on the sign it says, "We're all Africans, it doesn't matter." And that video I made was a very interesting video to make, but after months of having that video up, I got a email and I had to delete some things and edit some things, and it kind of like fucked the whole video up. But still, it's a very interesting video, but it's not as interesting as in the clip you're about to see right here. I think maybe this person saw this video or saw the sign and thumbnail saying we're all Africans, and literally he took the advice that was in the sign. Let's check out this video.
How are you?
I don't have ID.
You don't have an ID?
Yes.
I'm not.
Who are you?
I'm a South African.
I come from East Africa. I'm not foreigner.
He said, "Who are you?" He said he's not a foreigner, he's African. So it goes back to this video I made about 2 years ago. We're all Africans, it doesn't matter. I don't need a passport. I should be able to get prompt VIP service on demand because we're all Africans. Hold on, we're going to get into the full video, but I just wanted to say, I thought when you go to a different country, especially if you're trying to get some type of medical service, that you're supposed to have your passport on you, because your passport is considered your ID, your identification, so they'll know who the fuck you are. You can't just go to any country without a passport. So you could be a legal immigrant, who knows, and you're demanding some type of free service that country has.
And we're just going to see if he's able to get into the clinic or not, just the processes that often happen here.
How are you?
I don't have ID.
You don't have an ID?
Yes.
Passport with your medical certificate to show that you can enter?
I got certificate.
Medical certificate?
No, medical certificate I don't have.
No, we cannot.
Who are you?
I'm a South African, standing up for my rights. As the Constitution, Section 21 says, if you do know our Constitution, because as you are a foreigner in our country, you should be able to know the Constitution of South Africa, the don't-dos and the do's of what you must do in the country.
Okay, thank you. I come to the hospital. I got appointment for 1 month kid.
Are you a South African?
No.
This is the public hospital. It serves South Africans.
I come from East Africa. I'm not foreigner.
You are a South. Okay, fine. Let's.
I'm not
your
foreigner.
ID.
I'm from East Africa.
East Africa.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Listen.
I come from Ethiopia.
Okay, you come from Ethiopia.
Yes.
Ethiopia. It's not South Africa. This is South Africa with its own laws. And South Africa, it's for South Africans. East Ethiopia, it's for East Ethiopians. This is South Africa.
Let me tell you, me I stay here, South Africa, it's 18 years.
So you still don't have papers?
I'm using the asylum.
You are still an illegal foreigner.
Me,
18 years with asylum.
Yes.
That's questionable.
Yes. That is not my problem.
That is questionable.
Me I living with the asylum.
It's questionable.
I don't have the ID. That is my problem.
So, from watching that clip, overall, what do you think? Who was right? Who was wrong? Some of the things that was said, help me understand. Break it down and put your responses, your comments down below in the comment section. Just from watching, I gathered a lot about this clip. But before I break down what I think, the worst part to me wasn't just the clip, but it was actually the responses from the people that actually seen this clip as well. Now, we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. Hold off on that. But before that, what I think is that if you're not from the country that you're currently in, no matter where you go in that country, you have to have some type of identification to identify you, letting the people know from that country that you are a foreigner. So if you're trying to get any type of medical help or medical procedure, and you actually go into the facility without an identification, you cannot get prompt VIP service just because, as he said, he's not a foreigner. He's from East Africa. What does that mean? I have no idea. But you all, what do you think he was thinking when he said, I'm not a foreigner? I'm East African. What does that mean to you all? Does it mean that if you're African, you can go to any place within the continent and get any type of service without any kind of identification? Does it mean that, or does it mean something else? I don't know. Just let me know, because I'm puzzled from that. But he said that he's been in South Africa for 18 years. And she was saying, well, if you've been here for 18 years, you don't have a passport, you could be illegal. How do we know? You have to show identification before you come inside here and get serviced. And he was going back and forth with her. And that was a problem also, especially if you're in need and not the person you're talking to. And he asked her, who are you? As if she might be a foreigner. But now let's get into the comments that was made. And just from browsing through all these comments, I can tell that majority, 100% of the comments you're seeing, they're all from Ethiopians. And this is their take on what they saw from the clip. So read and check some of this out. One person wrote, colonizer mindset, colonizer country, shame on South Africa. Why is it shame for somebody denying someone service because they have no type of identification? I don't know, I'm puzzled about that one. But let's keep reading on. South Africa is isolate from Africa. Huh? What does that mean? From what I gathered from all these comments are negative comments, because I guess they're trying to support the guy, because he did say he's from East Africa, specifically Ethiopia. So from my understanding, is what he said was, in their mind, all correct. Nothing was wrong with his part. She was wrong for denying him service because he had no type of identification. Shame on South Africa, still with their colonizers mindset. Another crazy thing is I clicked on some of these profiles, and some of these are Ethiopians, and you can tell by, because some of their profiles are not private, so you can go through their actual profile, their pictures, and see where they're at. They're not in Africa at all. They're actually in majority or in the U.S. And the funny thing about that is the U.S. does the same thing that South Africa does. If you do not have a passport or identification in the U.S. as of now, they're shipping your ass back to the country you really come from. So I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm puzzled about that. And it says boycott all tourism in South Africa. I highly doubt that, because South Africa is probably one of the top 5 countries that receive the most tourism in their continent. But if you're referring to the guy wasn't a tourist. He's been there for actually 18 years without credentials. And then he implies that he's not a foreigner to South Africa because he's from East Africa, specifically Ethiopia. Another comment, they speak a lot of English. South Africa is like Israel. Another comment has the heart emoji that's broken. Why? Then it has black South Africans have been treated badly in their own country by white settlers. Now they turn around and do the same to other Africans. I think the problem that most of my friends in South Africa have is, if the country is so bad, why are your people keep coming to their country? Point blank, period. If it's so bad, why stay in the country for 18 years? It makes him look stupid, because you've been in the country for 18 years and it seemed like his English is not that great. Why did you come all the way from East Africa to South Africa? Why not go to West Africa? Why not go to the US or to Europe? Why come to South Africa? That's what most of my friends in South Africa, that's their main problem. If our country is so bad, why are your people here and our people not going to your country? Because I bet if my friends went to their country, they will be treated the same way, if not worse. You need identification. You need your passport on you at all times when you're in a different country. Look how we treat each other, but our expectation from other races is very high. Another person wrote xenophobia. A South African slave trying to talk to never being colonized Ethiopian, trying to explain things. Then below that, somebody wrote, shut up and do something about the white men running your country to this day, and you worry about letting a man of your skin color get some health care for his child. That's disgusting. That man spent 18 years and don't get anything done. It's time for him to go back to Ethiopia. Ethiopia was never colonized, but he go to a country that was and stay for 18 years. And from what the lady said, where's your passport? You could be illegal. That's what she said. Stay for 18 years illegally. Now he's demanding services as if he too come to colonize South Africa. I think it's what, 2 countries in Africa that has never been colonized. That really doesn't mean anything in today's society, because if they choose to do something that Europe or the US or even now China doesn't like, guess what's going to happen? They're going to be punished. Then someone wrote, all Africa must unite. SMH, shaking my head. I think before all countries can unite, I think each individual country has to fix itself within first, instead of having the burden of having all people from different countries trying to come and unite. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be like South Africa. And what I mean by that is you'll have countries or surrounding countries, just the whole continent, when they have a problem with their country, which number one country do they usually go to and migrate to? What country is that? From my understanding and from my friends' understanding and from visiting, it's South Africa. Therefore, for example, if my people, say I'm from Mozambique or I'm from Ethiopia, and I see that I have a lot of my people migrating to other countries, and in this case, South Africa, I wouldn't have much to say, because that means that my country internally have a lot of problems, probably more problems than the country that the guy is now going to, because if it wasn't, he would have stayed. As I repeated in lots of my videos, all countries are fucked up, including mine, but it's just some countries are less fucked up than others. And from this case, in this clip, it seems that the person that's coming to another country, his country is fucked up. And the country that he's in is less fucked up than the country he came from. Because the proof is in the clip. Since he came from a country that has never been colonized and is so great, why did he stay in South Africa for 18 years? And why he doesn't go back to his home country, since there was never colonized? Another person wrote, brother, come to home, you don't belong there. And if you click on his photo, his ass is in the US somewhere, sitting watching the news of ICE raids of people going or getting sent back to their own country. Well, evidently the guy does belong in South Africa, since he chose to stay for 18 years. With me, it's just point blank common sense. If I come from a country and most of the people in my country is going to different countries like South Africa, London, the US, I wouldn't say shit no matter what, because it's an embarrassment for people in my country migrating to other countries, and it's solely because of high corruption, high unemployment, there's no jobs, the government is fucked up. So now I have to get up and pack my shit and go to another country and try to figure out things in my new country. She's quoting the Constitution. Wow. Our ancestors will be handling all of you an ass whooping, a well-deserved one. You should have had the same energy for the people who enslaved your country. It's nothing wrong with having pride for your country, but at some point in time, when you see a video like this, you just got to just say to yourself, okay, he was wrong. He came to a place, he had no type of identification. So yeah, I get it. Again, all of these comments are from Ethiopians, and I'm pretty sure it's more than 50% they're not in Ethiopia. And I understand, he's Ethiopian, you taking sides with him. But when it comes to what we're seeing in this clip, no matter what country you go to, you got to have some type of documentation that identifies you, because you could be a criminal, illegal immigrant, who knows. But to take sides for someone that's wrong, that should be shame on you. One time I visited Brazil, and I went to a city called Maceió. And what I like doing when I get an apartment is I like to go to a grocery store and get food. So I went to the grocery store, I got some food, used my credit card. The machine wasn't working. So the clerk asked me to hand her my credit card so she could do it on another machine. And once I handed her the credit card, she looked at it and she asked for my identification. I didn't have my identification, which would be my passport, on me. So I told her, I'm visiting, I'm not Brazilian. She was like, okay, that's fine, but let me see your passport. So I said, I'm going to go to my apartment, I'll be back. She said, okay, we'll hold your food here, just bring your passport. So I had to go walk all the way to my apartment, get my passport, come back, show her my passport. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure, because we don't have Bank of America here in Brazil. And I went on my way. Another time, I went to another city in Brazil. It's called Campina Grande. I got stopped by the police. Guess what the police asked me? They asked for my identification. I had to show my identification. And from there, I was let go. Even though they racially profiled me, because they probably thought I was some type of criminal black Brazilian, but I was let go after showing my passport. So no matter what country you go to, you cannot get around from not having your passport, especially if you want to get service in a new country that you're not from. Medina, that is an Ethiopian name, and she's probably in the US, but they would never do this to their colonizers. It seems like the colonizer thing comes up a lot here. They're proud that they never got colonized, and that's good for you. But like I mentioned earlier, if it's something that your country does and the US, Europe, and now China doesn't like, your country will get penalized some type of way. Point blank, period. So it doesn't matter if you've been colonized or not. But why even bring that up? But the funny thing is, it's been colonized, but you have a person from your country that has never been colonized trying to get the fuck out of there and run to a country that has been colonized. That's embarrassing. I think with all these comments, the pride of not being colonized take over the fact that you need a passport. Someone else wrote, they're scared of white people. All they do is pick on poor Africans. The issue isn't the healthcare service or the paperwork. It stems from the pervasive control of British colonialism. Local individuals, damn, they wrote a whole fucking book. I think the only problem is having too much pride for your country, overlooking when someone from your country does something wrong. You're not looking at the whole picture because you're taking in the fact that that person is from your country. So no matter what, right or wrong, you're just going to go with that individual. I think that is the wrong way to go about things, especially, again, if that person is not in their own country, because it shows a lot about the country that that person comes from. If you haven't already, check out the video I have. It's called Durban, Is Xenophobia in South Africa Really This Serious? Because what you just saw in this clip, I have other clips in other countries. The same thing is happening and no one says anything about it. Same thing is happening now in Japan, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, the US, Canada now.
The principle is very simple. Canadian jobs for Canadian workers. Canada first, Canada always. That's why Conservatives are calling on the Carney government to permanently scrap the temporary foreign worker program and to stop issuing visas for any new temporary foreign workers coming into the country. Under this proposal, existing permits would be wound down until the program is entirely eliminated.
Canada first. So you heard what he just said. And like I mentioned, and if you see my video about xenophobia, a lot of countries are putting their people first over any foreigner. And that's what's going on for 2025. And I doubt in 2026 it's going to slow down or become less. I think it's going to increase. And do you think if I take my ass and drive from Washington, D.C. to Toronto, Canada, because I can drive there, it takes about 8 hours. Do you think once I get to the border, I could just tell them, yeah, I'm from the U.S. I don't need my passport. I've been here before. It's all good. And once in Toronto, do you think if, God forbid, I get sick, that I go to some type of medical facility, I could just tell them, you know, I don't have my passport, but I want to be seen. It's all good. But yeah, check out that xenophobia video I have. It's very interesting because it shows clips of other countries and what they think about foreigners. And a lot of countries, like I said, like you see on the screen, it says Canada first. So they're putting their country first. And when you look at news articles or videos and you see what the people are saying, they're saying that they're tired of foreigners coming to their country, causing them a burden. And it's not like they're receiving the brightest motherfuckers from these different countries. They're receiving unskilled. They don't even know the language of the country that they're coming to. And some of them are bringing their religion to the new country they're in. And that religion is not the main religion in that country. Example, Japan. They're saying that they're receiving a lot of Muslims, especially from Pakistan, coming to Japan, and they're trying to find a way how to get these motherfuckers out their country. So a lot of countries are putting their country first for numerous reasons. And if you go online, you can see some of the things they're saying. It all goes back to South Africa. They're saying, I think that they're being the nicest out of all these countries now, putting their country first. They're just saying, let's see some credentials. Let me see your passport. Let me see your papers. And people are getting mad at that. Opposed to other countries, they're just saying, we don't want you because you're Muslims. We don't want you because you're African. We don't want you because you're a burden to our country because you coming unskilled. Basically, they're saying you're a dumb motherfucker and you just want a handout. So a lot of countries are more harsher, I think, versus South Africa. But oh well. Like I just mentioned, I think South Africa is too nice compared to all these other countries, the articles I'm reading, the videos I'm seeing, and what they're doing to the foreigners. Like I said, in the US, we have ICE, and their top mission is to get all illegal immigrants out the US. So if you're black and you're in the US and you have no type of credentials, no type of passport or legal papers saying you're a citizen or you're in the progress of getting your citizenship, they're kicking your ass out of here and shipping your ass to Rwanda or to Kenya, because now they have agreements, those two countries, Rwanda and Kenya, to accept illegal black immigrants. So if you don't want to say the country you're really from, your ass is going there. And if you're a Latino, you're Spanish speaking person, you're in the US and you don't have the same thing, your credentials, they're going to ship your ass to El Salvador. So if you're Mexican, and again, only it applies if you're illegal. Then if I'm Mexican, I would want to go to Mexico. I would, I'm Mexican, send me back to Mexico versus going to this prison in El Salvador, which is considered a new maximum prison that is considered terrible. And I do think this is kind of racist, but again, this is what's happening in the US, and the people that was in these comments in this clip that you saw, I would highly doubt that the majority is in Ethiopia. I would say at least more than half, they're Ethiopian, but they're in the US making those type of comments is crazy because you're not even in your home country. But if you haven't already, and I'm pretty sure majority of the comments that was made, they've never been to South Africa, but if you choose to be a tourist and go to South Africa, you actually see how much they cater to foreigners. It's too much in my opinion. As a foreigner, as an American foreigner, I don't need to get a visa to go to South Africa, when most African countries, as an American, I need some type of visa. South Africa, I don't. If I wanted to buy an apartment or a house in South Africa, it's with ease as a foreigner, when most African countries, it's difficult or they make it impossible to, because they know that if foreigners come to their country, what's going to eventually happen is the foreigner is going to buy up most of the property, and the people that's originally from that country is not going to have enough money to compete with that foreigner coming with the euro or the dollar or the pound. So what most African countries do is they have some type of lease that you can lease land. You can lease the property, but you can't outright own it. So you might have like a 99-year lease, but it's not really yours because they can take it anytime they want. But in South Africa, it's totally different. I'm going to end the video right here, but make sure you continue reading some of these comments, and make sure below you make a comment on this video letting me know what did you think overall about some of the clips or even the articles that you have seen. And if you haven't already, check out that video on xenophobia, and also if you have time, just Google nationalism and see how many countries and how many videos you can find that you'll see the same thing you saw in this video is happening worldwide, of countries denying foreigners access to their health system. And just look at the things that they say about the foreigners. Some of it is very racist. They're saying, too many Africans we have, Australia. We don't want the Muslims, Japan. And you too will see how worse it is in other countries compared to South Africa. Overall, what do you think of the clips? And most importantly, what do you think of the comments that was shown?